Hey everyone, this is Meg with another current release game review, and today I'm going to be finally talking about Yakuza 4.
A prosperous career in the Yakuza demands more than bare knuckles and business deals.
Now the story follows four men, including the main character of the franchise since the original, and we see small-time Yakuza trouble develop into big trouble as each of these characters' stories intertwine and cross over. Now, like the other games in the franchise, Yakuza 4 focuses very heavily on Yakuza politics and throws in a lot of violence for good measure, so in that area it hasn't really changed much. In this installment, each of the characters were really well developed and fun to play. They each had their own unique features, their own kind of attitudes, behaviours, backstories, and this made the character changes within the game really refreshing. This use of many characters and intertwining stories I think is a really wonderful feature and a really interesting spin on the franchise. Of course it focuses on the Yakuza politics that we know and love, but they really tried to kind of revitalise it, and I say it worked. Gameplay was good. A couple of new features were added, like utilising rooftops and underground sewers and things to get from location to location. In adventure mode, this was brilliant and I can't fault it. Fighting was simple, with each fight usually giving you soul points so that you can upgrade. Each of the characters have their own fighting styles, which in some cases can be highly annoying and a welcome change in others. Of course, you can still pick up random objects in the street to beat people with, which never really gets old. I felt though that the fights could be quite easy, which feels a little repetitive at times. My one big problem with the gameplay, and this is common of all Yakuza games, are the dialogue boxes, and I know a lot of games utilise this feature, but it's one that for the most part I can't stand. Some of the most important scenes were presented to the player to read on screen, and I often felt like I was pressing X for hours. But this is a personal pet peeve. I mean, if you really like this feature, then please comment below and let me know why. I'm kind of interested because it's always really bugged me. But back onto gameplay, there are a lot of extra sub-missions to do alongside the main mission, and these all vary depending on the character, which was a really nice touch. For example, with one character you could train a quiet girl to be a glamorous hostess, or track down a mall thief whose story might surprise you. What's really great about the submissions in this game, I thought, was that they help develop the character that you're playing. They give you an insight as to who they are and how they work, and this worked really wonderfully. It didn't just flesh out the gameplay, but the stories and characters too. But I kind of had a love-hate relationship with the revelations in the game, but that's purely my problem because every time a revelation happens, I'm too busy watching what's going on to actually think about what it means or push the reaction command at the right time. Okay, I'm going to split the graphics into two. You've got the character models and the environments. Now the character models were good. I mean, I can't say that they looked that different from Yakuza 3, but they were still good nonetheless. The city environment was really great. It was colourful and bustling and full of life. I think Yakuza 3 had very realistic looking environments, but compared to this installment, they seem a little bit cartoony. If I were to compare the two, I would say that Yakuza 3 looked more last gen and Yakuza 4 is very much up to date. I really just love the colourfulness of the graphics in Yakuza 4. Yakuza 3 wasn't much different though, so I would say that there isn't much of a difference between Yakuza 3 and Yakuza 4. I really like the soundtrack. Overall, there aren't particular tracks that jump out to me necessarily. I love the one that they play during the main menu. I'll put the link or the title in the description box. But I think what really impressed me about the soundtrack was this blend of several different genres. You had this kind of jazz, film noir sound, kind of electric guitars and a little bit of an electronic feel in some areas. It's just a really interesting mix that you wouldn't think would work, but it definitely works for what they're trying to create, this world of the Yakuza. Overall, I'm actually going to give this a dual score. Up against other games in the market right now, I would give it an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10, because it's a good play, but it doesn't quite stand apart from other titles. But if we look at it in the context of the franchise, I would give it a 9. I think all the extra additions that they've put in really has revitalised the franchise, and I think this is a worthy addition. So thank you for watching this video. I'm really sorry it's taken me this long to do a review. Of course I'm going to get back to doing one video a week now I have the time. And yes, I will see you all next week in my next video, and I want to thank you all again for your never-ending support. So bye! And I just want to say a final thank you to Sega for sending me this review copy. Whenever a revelation. So the story follows. Why am I really hot now? It's not, is it? No. Sending me this review copy. Can I say what? Try this again. I really like the direction that they tried to take it in. Try this again because I just dropped the DVD. The game, you